Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to May I Scraplift You. And today I am scraplifting Saberdun.life journal. And I don't know if I said that right. I hope I did. But I really like this layout. It's full of fun mixed media. And so immediately when I saw it, I knew what I was going to document. And you saw that, that photo of peas there, and if you really look at the photo, you will know that the peas are Frosty. So I am documenting some Frosty peas. I'm starting out with some Canson watercolor paper. It's really cheap watercolor paper, by far not my favorite. And I'm doing a watercolor wash. And so when I did a little bit of a quick lesson with my watercolorist buddy. This is how she taught me to do a watercolor wash. Now, she didn't tell me to flip the paper over and start on the other side, but I did want some darker colors on the edges. So anyway, you start at one side of the paper and you get your color going, and then you just keep adding to it and going down the page. So that's what she taught me. And that's what I did. And I'm using that Canson paper just because it's inexpensive, and I am going to punch everything, so I don't need the really thick or good watercolor paper that I normally do like my 12 by 12 on, because I'm just going to cut this apart anyway. I do feel like this paper pills a lot quicker than what I normally use, which normally I use a 12 by 12 pad, and it's called Fluid, and it's like a cold press watercolor paper, and I get it on Amazon. But in this case, I didn't really want to use that because, like I said, it would be wasteful of my good paper and wasteful of the size, because I don't need a whole 12 by 12. So I pulled out my Catherine Pooler inks, and I'm using the eucalyptus ink pad, and I am punching a whole bunch of these circles. That circle stamp set is from Ink Road Stamps. I don't have a lot of their stamps. I just have like two, maybe three sets of their stamps, but this Ink Road one with the circles, I saw it at a retreat a couple years back, and I didn't buy it for the longest time, and so I just finally ordered it like in January, and I just got it in, like, I want to say March, because they were back ordered. But I'm really happy with it, and I thought it could be useful for a lot of different things, so that is kind of why I went with that. And I just like the circles, and they fit perfectly in my 1-inch circle punch, so you could just easily punch it out. Now I am using some paper glaze from Picket Fence Studio, and I am using it in, sorry, I had to grab the bucket, the little pots there. I'm using it in lime zinnia and fern green, and I'm kind of just like going over the colors with each, so that there's kind of like, they're not really a mix, but it's a gradient. You can see there, not all of them are light green, not all of them are dark green, but I kind of wanted it to look like there were peas all over the page. And so this is gonna get really busy looking to begin with, but when it's all done, it looks fine, in my opinion anyway. I think it looks good, because I don't add a ton of embellishments to it. And I do keep it all kind of monochromatic green, which I seem to be doing a lot lately with green, but you know, peas are green, so uh, yeah, it kind of was like the perfect thing. And then I'm just using this, like, it's a circle stencil, but the circles are not perfect circles, which, you know, peas are not perfect circles anyway. They get those little indentations in them and all that kind of stuff, and peas are never like a flat green color anyway, so that's why I wanted kind of a mixture of colors. And I really like how it turns out. And I'm just doing this on plain old cardstock. It's not anything fancy. It's not thick. Um, it's nothing, you know, special. It's not foundation paper or anything like that. It's not even basil marshmallow or anything. So I'm just letting it dry. And because I went over it pretty quickly with just the paper glaze, it doesn't buckle a whole lot. I did ink all of the edges with the eucalyptus ink, so that the peas would have like, or the circles would have like a dark edge around them. And then I am using this Nuvo embellishment mousse in citrus green. And I am just dry brushing that on. I'm using, I think that's a Vicky Bouton brush. Tonic has their own brushes. Tim Holtz has brushes, but you just kind of smoosh it in there and then brush it around. So it's not giving any added texture, but it is kind of adding that, like, that really bright green color. It's almost kind of yellow, but so I like how that's looking, and then I decided I'm going to back my photo with the blues because in the photo there's quite a bit of blue in the background behind the peas, and if you look really close up, those peas are frosty, which what I am documenting here is Noah only eats peas if they're frozen. I don't know why. He won't eat them cooked. He'll eat them frozen or if they're just frosty, like they're defrosting. But it's kind of the funniest thing. And the really funny thing is, it's like the only vegetable that his mom doesn't like. So my daughter would not eat peas growing up. She still does not like peas. Um, I'm not sure that she still picks them out of like a pot pie or anything, but when she was small, she did. And so I think it's kind of funny that he will eat them, but he'll only eat them if they're frozen, which actually makes it a great snack to take on picnics and stuff like that because you don't have to defrost them and keep them warm. You just throw them in the container frozen, and by the time you get to where you're going, they're still frosty and he'll eat them. So then I decided to back my whole layout on this blue cardstock, which is totally unlike me because I don't typically use cardstock, but I thought it was perfect for this layout. So, you know, if it works, it works. And so then I decided I am going to use these like they are peas and they're kind of like spilling on the page. I was going to do like a vertical line, but then I decided to go with a horizontal line instead of vertical. And I really like how it comes out. I want some of them overlapping, but the overlapping ones I want popped up onto some foam tape. And so I will be doing that. And then I do want some that are like off the page and some that are peeking out from underneath the photo. So it looks like the line of peas went all the way across the layout. And so while I do that, let me just tell you a little bit about May I Scraplift You. This series was started by Crystal Barrett, and she's playing along all month, and I'm trying to do that as well, to play along with her. And she chose a bunch of people who follow her on Instagram, and she chose to scraplift them and leave a little love for them. And so she provided us all a list that we could use, although we were welcome to choose other people if we wanted to. I pretty much stuck with the whole list that she provided. There are a couple of days where I have flip-flopped them, or I might have chosen someone else just to meet some other obligations that I have on my channel. So you can go over and check out Crystal and all of the other people who are playing along this month. There is a list in my description box down below of the people who are playing along daily, the people who are playing along on a specific day of the week. So go and check them out and leave them a little bit of love and check out the inspiration. Now, just because we have chosen to scraplift somebody does not mean that we're all using the same layout, because basically we went through their Instagram accounts and kind of like looked at which layouts really spoke to us, and we each picked whatever layout we really wanted to work or scraplift. So you may not see other people lifting this same layout today, but you might see other people lifting from the same account today. So I really like how this is coming out. I'm just going to continue gluing things down, and I am definitely using my liquid glue on this because there is mixed media on the background. The tape runner just does not like to stick to it. And then, of course, with the foam tape, I almost always use my liquid glue unless there is a huge surface of it. Then I might use my tape runner. But I find with these little tiny bits that the tape runner does not stay stuck to the foam. So that's why I prefer to use the liquid glue. I know it's going to hold. I haven't had anything fall off on my layouts yet using this Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, so really happy with it. So the other thing I do like about the foam tape, that it's just the Fun Foam from Walmart, is I don't actually have to cut it. I did cut it for this particular layout, but I don't really have to cut it. If you just want to rip off a piece, it's easy to rip off a piece. I find that some of the foam tapes are kind of like, I'm going to use the word gummy. Gummy's not, maybe not the right word, but when you go to rip it, it just kind of stretches and it kind of like pulls, and I think it's harder to use personally. So this tears pretty easily, and it makes it really easy to get it onto your layout and tear it apart into smaller little tiny bits. So what I'm doing here is I wanted to create my own title using these Pink Fresh Studio Alphas, and let's see here. Let me see if I can tell you what ones they are. These are the Heather lowercase alphas, and then I did use a couple of pieces from the Leah's Ornate uppercase. So the F and the P, my title is Frosty Peas, so the F and the P and the T are from the Leah's Ornate, and the rest are from the Heather lowercase. And so what I did was I just ran them through the Sidekick with just using the foam tape, and so they're just blue foam thickers now at this point. They're not really thickers, they're homemade thickers, and it's a great way to not have to invest in thickers. I mean, I do have a huge investment in thickers, but I'm finding that so many of my packs, especially the black, are out of A's and E's that I got frustrated, so I have started investing in alpha dyes instead. That isn't to say that I'm not going to use thickers anymore, because until they're all used up, of course I will use them, but I'm not sure that I'm going to invest a lot in purchasing black thickers right now, just so I can use my dyes instead. But I do like a lot of different font options, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I do like this ornate font that you can kind of mix in the letters and have those swooshes and stuff. It doesn't work great like if I had used the uppercase alphas. The T might not have worked well depending on what the other letters were. Actually, the T probably would have worked well, but the F wouldn't work well if it was in the middle of the sentence, because the little dangly part off the front of the F would have possibly run into whatever letter was in front of it. So you kind of have to mix and match and play with it. And I actually really like how it comes out, so it makes me happy. It also does cut a really thin outline around it, and I did play with the idea of having like a green outline around the blue or a blue outline around the green letters. You can see some green letters up there to the right next to my scissors, and those were just some that I played with mixing and matching the foam pieces to see if I wanted it with an outline. But I really just like the way that the blue came out, because I've got so much blue borders around everything. I think it just pops off the page and makes it kind of look really good. If I had used just the green, I think it would have blended in too much, and so that's why I decided to go with the blue. I also had a little bit of difficulty trying to figure out where I was going to put the title, as you noticed. And then there is that little divot between the F and the T, so I just popped a P in there. And, and so I do end up liking how this looks. Now, I do have the P's going down vertically below the photo, but I don't have them up above, because then it looked like I was making a letter T or something like that, or an X mark or something like that across on my page, and I didn't like how that looked, so I just went with it, them falling out of, like they're falling out of the container down onto the title. And then I'm just using a stamp set from, this is from the new Maggie Holmes collection. I didn't buy much of her paper. I bought a few sheets, but I did buy the stamp set, and this is a garden party stamp set, and I'm just using this little label, and then the tab is from, I want to say that is from the, let's see here, I'm looking right now, it's not Vicky Bouton's, I don't think. I think it is Amy Tangerine's new line, Brave and Bold. And so I just pulled those in, and I'm using Suede Shoes as my ink. Oh, sorry, the tab is from Paige Evans Wonders. So, and that is the layout in its entirety. I did get my journaling into that little tab. It didn't have to have a lot of journaling, but it did need a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Check out everyone else who's playing along. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. And I am honored that you chose to spend time on my channel today. Thanks again. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.